It's Marie Claire is next. Who do you want to share with us?
Hi, yeah, I'm going to share one of my actually hero since I was young, and it's Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King. He lived over 60 years and worked hard to make people understand that it's not actually only Black people, but all races should always be treated equally. And I think he's really father of civil rights. Most of people probably know the history. I don't think human rights or civil rights or equality could exist without him. So he's been my hero, and actually has, I think Ciiku, you mentioned about the Black history being taught in a school, and there is a essay which said that what we learn becomes a part of who we are. And with, I don't see how we can actually prevent racism and promote culture diversity without really kids learning about the Black history in a school. So I think he's a very good figure for everyone to know, because he fought for all of us. You know, people who have a Black background like us. So yeah, he's one of my heroes. And I think that's why I made me laugh about human rights as well. There is also, I think, something he said about the kids in his very known speech. He said that, you know, I think his speech was, I have a dream. It was called I Have a Dream. And he said that I have a dream that my 4 little children who only live will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And I think this is how really Black people get judged by just the skin of color, but we're talented. As all of you have said, whether it's about music, about fighting for equality, about fighting, you know, for peace, we should be judged by our character rather than our skin. So yeah, that's a person I really would like to share when it comes to Black history.
Thank you very much, Marie Claire. Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, a very inspirational speech that he gave. And like you say, he was very, very much involved in the civil rights movement, which we know ended up impacting also on civil rights here in the UK. And around the world, this kind of people spark something in people to fight for their rights. So thank you for sharing that. Does anyone want to say anything about Martin Luther King? Add something? Yes, Keshi and then Shiro.
I have 2 quotes. This quote thing is very good. I have 2 quotes that resonate with everyone everywhere who believes in justice and equality. And he said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. And he also said to ignore evil is to become accomplice to it. So anyone who believes in fairness and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights can't help but be moved by his words and to say, I will fight for justice for everyone, because this means I'm fighting for myself.
Thank you very much, Keshi. And that was shown very recently in people joining protests against the death of George Floyd. They were from all over the world. They weren't just from that particular city where he was killed, but I think everyone who felt justice is important to them felt a need to go out and fight against this injustice Otherwise, it's like you're being, what's the word? Is it complicit? Yeah. So if you see an injustice, fight against it. Don't just stay quiet. That was what Martin Luther King was saying. So thank you, Marie Claire, and thank you, Keshi. Shiro, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I was going to talk about in America, till today, I find it very, very strange that African or Black Americans were not allowed to freely vote until the 1960s, which is not really a long time ago. Can you imagine all those years? It's like they were subhumans. So it was the work of people like Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and other civil rights leaders that actually drove the authorities to come to allow them to vote freely. And then there's a quote from Martin Luther, which I find very interesting. It says, "In the end, we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." So if we know something is wrong, we should not keep quiet. We should do whatever we can to fight against it, or to talk against it.
Shiro, thank you so much. That's one of my favorite quotes. Yeah, I love that quote. So thank you for sharing it. Moving on because of time. So next is Maggie. Who is your historical figure?
My historical figure, I'll start with Julius Nyerere. When we talk about fairness, I think he tried, but maybe at a small scale, because he didn't get opposition like Nelson Mandela, who got opposition from the West, which was hitting. As much as they were ruled by the Germans, you would be surprised that people in Tanzania don't speak German, because he taught them their tradition. He pulled them back to their tradition. And that's why I admire the Tanzanians so much, because it is a Tanzanian first before their tribe. So when you meet a Tanzanian, he's a Tanzanian first before maybe you hear about what tribe he is coming from. And whenever we have unrest in our country, Kenya, I always think of Julius Nyerere when he brought the Ujamaa thing. The Ujamaa was to bring the unity of the country together, of which I think it has a positive impact of the Tanzanians, because they are more united. When you see them fighting, it's just the politician, it's not along tribal or along things like that. But when we have unrest in our country where we are profiled along our tribal lines, is when I think of the impact that Nyerere brought in East Africa. And I think even the Swahili that we speak, which has been encouraged by Julius Nyerere, because the country is in East Africa, and Tanzania speak more of Swahili. They don't speak much of other languages because they didn't see the need. Nyerere didn't encourage the country to learn from these other languages, because I think he was encouraging the fairness of the country, and he wanted everybody to treat each other like a brother, and the fairness. So the other thing that I wanted to talk so much about is Safaricom, which has been invented in Kenya. Safaricom, maybe people don't know much about it, because mostly they try to portray the people from the West that they were the ones who discovered Safaricom. But actually it was discovered from people from Kenya. But this time I'll just talk about this lady, because he caught my heart, especially when the server of Safaricom was being transferred from Germany. It had been there in Germany for 8 years. So in 2015, the server was being transferred to Kenya. And this woman held the country ransom, a young lady of 28 years, an engineer, because she was the one who was working on the server to make sure that that thing went well. Nothing, because he was holding the whole country ransom, as everybody had the money in their mobile phones, mobile banks. And as time went by, Safaricom has been known worldwide, and it is an invention from Kenya, of which I'm proud of. And this young lady, a woman, just a black lady from Nyeri, somewhere in Mount Kenya, just here. She actually invented that part of transferring money from one phone to the other, and also buying goods using your mobile phone, and even having a bank. There's a bank in your phone that is called Mshwari, where you can save your money and it earns interest. And this one lady is the one who's doing it. And he heads one big department, I think, in Safaricom, and he's doing that. So she's my hero, and I thought I would want to mention her. Yeah.
Okay, Maggie, thank you very much. Before I talk about Julius Nyerere, it would be very good to know the lady's name, because you haven't given us her name. So please give us her name. And also, I would like to ask, is it Safaricom or is it M-Pesa? I'm confused. I thought the mobile banking that was invented in Kenya was M-Pesa. Is it the same as Safaricom? Just enlighten us, because obviously we're not in Kenya.
Oh, okay. What I know, the M-Pesa part was invented in Kenya. Safaricom, I think, no, I don't know about it so much. But the M-Pesa, which is money transfer, it is the M-Pesa one. The mobile money transfer is the M-Pesa one. So that one was invented in Kenya by a young man who invented that. But now to reinvent is that lady. Her name is Betty Mwangi Duo.
Okay, Betty Mwangi.
So she's the one. Yeah, Betty Mwangi Duo.
Okay, so we will make sure she's credited in this video and we'll put her name there. So guys, if you don't know, Kenya invented this mobile banking, which now we use in the West as well. And not many people know that it was invented in Kenya on a platform called M-Pesa. And now all banks use it, and they bought out this company in Kenya that started this mobile transfer. Amazing. It's so great to be able to send money through your phone. And it's a historical big thing. And it's so shocking that nobody has made a big deal that it was invented in Kenya. It's very quiet. You just have people buying out from these guys and not really talking about where the invention came from. Yes, Keshi?
I just wanted to mention that happily here in Denmark, Kenya has been given credit for mobile, this mobile innovation and mobile banking. And it was really nice as a Kenyan to see it being mentioned in the news that Danes who started this mobile pay, they got inspiration from Kenya.
Oh, thank you, Keshi. Kirigo, yes?
I'm echoing what Keshi said. The first time they were introducing mobile pay, actually M-Pesa, the Danish, a Danish bank actually showed it, the scene in Kenya, and gave credit to Kenyans for having started mobile pay, M-Pesa or mobile pay in Denmark. So fortunately, they did give credit where it was due, and it was really nice. They didn't just take credit for having started mobile pay here in Denmark.
Okay, thank you guys. Thanks for unmuting. I just want to say quickly about Julius Nyerere, and thank you for sharing about him as well, and the importance of language, and that he insisted on making sure Swahili was a core and key language in Tanzania, and wasn't influenced by former colonialists, which is Germany. And he held fast to the language and using it as a unifying factor. And as he said, because of it, Tanzania is not divided along racial lines. They were unified by the language. And yeah, it really would be nice to see Kenya put Swahili even more up there together with English as a core language. Who else wanted to add? Shiro, yes, you wanted to say something about M-Pesa.
Yeah, I was going to say that I feel that they didn't really give credit to the person who actually invented M-Pesa. It was a young Kenyan university student.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Nyagaka Anyona Ouko.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one who came up with the whole idea. Safaricom and Vodafone, to me, it's like they hijacked the idea and developed it. Of course, he didn't have the means to develop it. But now if you Google M-Pesa, who started M-Pesa, it's the name of a white guy that comes up there called Hughes. He was the head of Safaricom. Credit is not given to this young man, seriously, and he really should be credited for the invention. It was his idea, a young university student from Moi University in Kenya.
Thank you, Shiro. See, this is what we were talking about, history being rewritten and people being erased. And that is so sad, because even though you say Kenya is credited, it's still a white guy in Kenya who's credited with developing an idea that actually was invented by this young Kenyan university graduate. So thank you. We will make sure his name is put there, and let's keep talking about this. Jamila?
Oh, Kashi was first.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick thing to say that I did do a search when I wanted to find a Kenyan inventor who has made a difference. And when I did a search, there was an article on Google that says that Kenyans think that they invented M-Pesa, but it is this and this person, like Shiro said. But if you read the story, if you read between the lines, you can see that the problem was that the person who, the initial inventor, did not get
patent.
What you call, huh?
Patent.
Patent, yeah. He got a certificate, but not a patent. So when you do like that, then people who exploit ideas will come and take your idea, and because you're not schooled in how to claim your creativity, then he's removed. And even Kenyans themselves are writing claiming that this guy is not the one who invented. So it's really a sad affair, and something I hope everyone who is inventive and an innovator can learn, that always get a patent for what you create so that you can get credit for it and not other people.
Okay, thanks, Keshi, for telling us that. Just quickly, Jamila, we need to move on for time.
Oh, well, I just wanted to show something quickly, because we went on to how people aren't credited, especially Black people, on what they've created. And I just wanted to share my screen and show you guys what I was talking about. It's called Y2K, which is a style from like maybe the 90s to the 2000s. That was, it got really popular then, and then it disappeared, and now it's coming back into fashion. And when you type it into Google, this is what will come up. Wait. This is what comes up. So if you type it in and you say the icons of this time, it will come up with a lot of people who are not Black, but the ones who started this this fashion trend basically were Black women, especially people like TLC or Lil' Kim. They all had this style in their music videos. Even Missy Elliott, they always had this futuristic type look, but even things like Aaliyah wore boyish type of clothing. And now people are looking back and saying, oh, Mean Girls, they had the outfits and Y2K, but the credit was not given to the original people who did this fashion, and they were looked down upon. They called it ghetto, and it was not professional, and they called them names, derogatory names. But now it's a fashion trend, and they're saying that it was created by non-Black people when it wasn't. So I just wanted to talk about credit being taken away.
Thank you, Jamila. You've just shared another cultural contribution that was made by some Black artists, Black creative people, that was not acknowledged, but as we said, if we own our own narratives, we can talk about it and make sure it's out there. So it's going to be on this platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kirigo, please go on, and then we'll wrap up quickly with some inventions. Shamsa can say one, and I'll also just show a quick screen and ask the editor to add this at the end about inventions made by Black people that we did not know about. So Kirigo, who's your contribution? Who's your inspirational figure?
I decided to take someone that was put aside, Dedan Kimathi. I don't remember who wanted to talk. Was it you, Keshi? Yeah. So I decided to take him instead. I thought there's so many to choose from, but I decided to choose one from our own country. Dedan Kimathi, who was born Kimadiwa Washiori. That was his name, his born name, and the name he was born in. And he was actually a freedom fighter in the forest when the Kenyans were fighting for freedom. He was one of the lead guys who was organizing how to, fight the colonialists in Kenya. And he was captured by the Brits and was executed. And for a very long time, Dedan Kimathi was not even given the credit he deserved as a hero of fighting for the freedom of Kenya. It's only not too long ago, I don't remember when, where his statue of his was erected in Nairobi, but he was finally given the recognition he deserves. And he only died at the age of 36. He didn't even have a lot of years. So I thought of him, and also any other who was beside him in the forest fighting. Kenya has finally recognized these people when they have a day called Mashujaa Day, which means Heroes Day. And this is in honor of people like Dedan Kimathi and his comrades in the forest who actually physically fought for the freedom of Kenyans, the freedom we enjoy today.
Thank you very much, Kirigo, for sharing Dedan Kimathi's story and how he was such a hero and very inspirational, and for the longest time was called a terrorist,
Yes.
when all he was doing was fighting for freedom from colonialism. So it's so funny, the very expression we all know that the winners of the battle are the writers of history. Yeah. So he was labeled as a terrorist by the people who wrote the history books about their conquests in Africa and colonialism. But this guy, all he was doing was fighting for freedom for his country and his countrymen. So thanks for that. And
one of the quotes he has, now we're talking about quotes, he said, "I consider myself a great African patriot fighting not for the liberation of Kenya alone, but for East Africa and the rest of the continent."
Thank you. Again, most of these people we've mentioned might have been starting at a singular cause, but they all said that whatever they were fighting for was also for other people around the world. This is one common thread with all of them. So just because, for example, advocates for Black Lives Matter and activists are fighting for that, we all agree that from that, we actually want to look at the rights and equality of everyone around the world. It's so bad we don't have time to go into things. Maybe we can hear about an invention, but in terms of education and the system in Africa, in Kenya, and whether it's Western focused or Kenyan focused, I'd really like to hear that. So maybe we can do that on Keshi's new project, where we'll be inviting a panel of people to talk about different topics. So I don't know, Keshi, do you think that can be one of the topics, since we have not had time to discuss that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we're gonna start a new project where people will be invited, special invite, to join the panel and discuss different topics. Shamsa, did you say you wanted an invention? You wanted to talk about an invention, an inventor?
Time, I would like to discuss in few lines. I want to discuss an invention by, a black inventor, the three light traffic system invented by Garrett Morgan in 1923. Without only an elementary school education, black inventor, he was son of a slave, Garrett Morgan, came up with the several significant inventions, including an improved sewing machine and the gas mask as well. However, one of Morgan's most influential invention was the improved traffic light, because without his invention, drivers across the nation would be directed by a two light system. So that was the greatest invention by a black inventor called Garrett Morgan.
Thank you so much, Shamsa. So did you guys know that the three light traffic system was invented by a black man? So there you go. Yes, Keshi? Mike.
I want to say that I read that aside from inventing three light traffic system, he was the only black guy who owned a car in his city or in his wherever he was living. So this is a guy of firsts and just a guy who was a go-getter.
Thank you very much, Keshi. And thank you, Shamsa. I'm going to share a screen quickly, and I hope the editor will include it properly. And maybe we'll have to have a part 1 and part 2 of this recording, just so people are not sitting for over 1 hour. So let me share my screen and show you, just a second. Other inventions. I was quite surprised myself, I have to say. Okay, so there's one here about the ironing board. Improved ironing board by, this is a black woman, Sarah Boone. And then home security system. I don't know if you guys knew that. Co-invented by Mary. So these are black women, yeah? The three light traffic system that Shamsa told us about. Refrigerated trucks, automatic elevator doors, electric microphone, and the carbon light bulb filament. So guys, look at that. There's so many things that we have today that I had no idea were invented by black people. So just go have a look on that page. It's on history.com, which is a reputable history site. So this is not just fake news. This is a reputable history site. And I want to quickly talk about UK and history, why Black history is so important. Right now we have a scandal going on called the Windrush scandal. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Have you guys heard of the Windrush? So the Windrush scandal is about people that were invited into the UK, people who are former colonies. They were regarded as British subjects. So after the war, when there was a shortage of labor, they invited people from those former colonies to come and work in the UK. And a lot of them came from the Caribbean. And they came to work and they settled, they were welcomed. And now, so many years later, because of this anti-immigration sentiment, these guys just were settled, never given any papers. With the new government, anti-immigration started being sent back, deported. People who've lived there their entire lives, working as British people, being sent back to Jamaica, wherever, being told you're not welcome here. And all they know is the UK. So it's a big, big scandal that's been going on. And that shows you why it's so important to teach history in school. because many people didn't know about this. Many British people didn't know that their, friends, parents were being threatened to be deported after they'd given everything to the UK, after being told, come and help us, come and work. So this is why we need to have Black history taught in schools, and taught about also Black freedom fighters who fought for civil rights here. So we're going to put a little thing at the end of this video, just a little bit on Black history, the Windrush scandal, and give some links for anyone who wants to read some more into it. There'll also be a link for the inventions from Black inventors. We're here to learn. So thank you very much. So just quickly before we go, yes.
I wanted to share about a Black inventor, woman inventor, who means a lot to me because I have myopia. I have bad eyesight, I'm short-sighted, and soon considering to have laser surgery. And I was very surprised to learn that laser surgery of the cataract laser surgery was actually pioneered by a Black woman called Dr. Patricia Bath, an American woman. I think this is so impressive that women are smart and they're innovating, and that whatever, something that personally affects me and something that I would like to maybe in the future have this surgery was pioneered by a Black woman. Just thought to mention that.
Thank you very much, Keshi, for sharing that. I didn't know that either. So thank you for telling us about that. So there's another thing to add to the list and something new that you've learned today. quickly say where we're from?
Hi, my name is Shamsa. I'm originally from Pakistan, and at the moment I'm in England and living in Liverpool.
Hi, Shamsa, and thank you
Hi,
for joining us
Shamsa.
today.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kirigo.
Yeah, hi, my name is Kirigo. I'm originally from Kenya, Nairobi, and I live here in Denmark. I'm married here in Denmark, and that's all. Yep.
Thank you, Kirigo. And next is Maggie.
Hi, my name is Margaret. I'm originally from Kenya and live in Kenya.
Thank you. Jamila.
Hi, my name is Jamila. I'm originally from Denmark, but I live in the UK now.
Thanks, Mila. Kesh.
Hi, my name is Keshi. I come from Kenya and I live in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Thank you, Keshi. Shiro.
My name is Shiro, born and raised in Nairobi, Kenya.
Thank you very much for joining us. We also had a few people who've left now. Marie-Claire from Rwanda, living in the UK. Jose from Burundi/Rwanda, living in the UK. We had Gloria as well, who's living in the UK, and I'm from Kenya and living in the UK. So a very diverse group. We know it's Black History Month in the UK, but we thought we need to be inclusive and let everyone share a bit of inspirational history, Black history from wherever they are. So thank you very much for joining us. All the links to the things we've spoken about are there, including the Windrush, which is a really big scandal. So unbelievable that this can happen today. And that link will be there if you want to learn more about it. So thank you for joining us, and we shall see you next time. Thanks, guys, for your contributions.